You can hide a lot from the world, but you can't hide from the person who shares your bed. And yet so many men spend years building a wall between themselves and the very person they claim to love, not because they don't care, but because they're terrified of being seen as a burden. You convince yourself you're protecting them from your struggles, your failures, your doubts. What you don't realize is that this fear, left unchecked, slowly drains the life out of your connection. The ghost path begins where truth gets swallowed, where the words die in your throat before they reach the air. I've seen men who would fight a gang in an alley without hesitation, but crumble at the thought of telling their partner, "I'm scared, I feel like I'm not enough." It's not weakness that stops them, it's shame. Somewhere along the way, they learned that a man's worth is measured in what he can carry without help. And so they carry in silence until the silence becomes a coffin. I remember a man named Cole. On paper, he had it all: career, house, a partner who adored him. But behind closed doors, Cole had lost his business once, was in debt again, and woke up every morning feeling like a fraud. Instead of telling her, he became distant, short-tempered, always busy. She thought he'd stopped loving her. In reality, he was drowning and didn't want to drag her under. That's the irony. The very thing he thought would protect her was what ended the relationship. The fear of burdening your partner comes from a belief that your worth is conditional. If you're strong, providing, composed, you're worthy. If you're struggling, uncertain, falling behind, you're a liability. And so you hide your struggle, thinking you're preserving respect, but what you're actually doing is denying intimacy. Because intimacy isn't just about sharing victories, it's about letting someone into your failures. Here's the darker truth. This fear is often a mask for perceived inadequacy. If deep down you believe you're less than, every hardship feels like proof. Every time you can't solve something alone, it feels like your worth has dropped another notch. And instead of letting your partner see the battle, you stage the illusion of control. You'd rather they see you as distant than see you as failing. But the longer you maintain that illusion, the less real the relationship becomes. The ghost path demands that you see this for what it is, not protection but preemptive abandonment. You're pulling away before they can. The fix is not to dump every detail of your fears and failures on them like a confession booth. The fix is ritualized transparency. You decide intentionally what truths to share and when, and you frame them as part of the path you're walking. Here's the ritual. Once a week, sit across from them without a phone in sight and answer 3 questions together. What went well this week? What challenged you this week? What are we building toward together?
I'm struggling, but I'm working on it. Sometimes I feel the same way. When you answer the second question, resist the urge to filter. If you had a moment where you doubted yourself, say it. If you felt fear, admit it. You'll discover something vital. The weight you feared would crush them is often lighter when shared. Your partner doesn't want the illusion of the unbreakable man. They want the reality of the man who fights through what could break him. Vulnerability, framed through strength, deepens connection. I'm struggling, but I'm working on it is far more powerful than silent withdrawal. This fear of burdening, of inadequacy, feeds on isolation. Starve it by bringing it into the open, not recklessly, but consistently. You'll notice something happen. Your partner begins to share more of their own fears too. And now you're not 2 actors on a stage, you're 2 people in the same trench, watching each other's backs. If you keep carrying everything alone, the chain will grow heavier until it's the only thing between you. If you set it down together, you'll realize most of its weight was in your mind.